I have what I think is an absolutely amazing mission moment for you. Some of you may not remember, some of you weren't even here yet, but about 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to go to West Africa on a vision tour. And while I was there, I met this international worker named Jake, who was able to tell me about a need in one of the villages for a well. See, they had a hand-dug well, but it would dry up and they would only have water about 5 months a year. I was able to come back to the church, share that need with you, and through our Christmas offering that year, we were able to raise enough money to put a well in that village.
With Anko's help to put the well in, we would like to pay for that well.
You probably are wondering, whatever happened with that? Well, just recently, I was able to catch up with that international worker again, and here he is to tell us the rest of the story.
We were able to go to the village of Entisoni with Pastor Levy. Pastor Levy went to that town in 2009, and I think you probably remember the story, that he was completely opposed by the religious groups that were there. In fact, driven out of town a couple of times. They threatened his life, but he really began to turn things around because he's just this incredibly great people person and people began to respect him, and eventually the town gave him land. Now here's the thing. It was a beautiful piece of land, but they knew that he couldn't get water. So it was kind of like a trick, like a trap, like they were going to put him out there and they thought, well, he'll never be able to get water on this land and so he'll have to leave. And so we began some efforts to try to dig a well, and we managed to get a hand-dug well in. But it wouldn't give enough water, only for about 5 months out of the year. And so that's when you guys came in and helped get money for a drilled well that went into a beautiful, beautiful source of water. And then our Dutch colleague put up a water tower with solar panels so that there would be water all of the time. Here's the really cool part of this story. So, about 2 years ago, the other wells in Entisoni all went dry. One of them broke and one of them went dry. Virtually the whole town now comes out to Pastor Levy's place for water. I mean, there are lines of people with their donkey carts and their barrels to fill water to go back into town. And Pastor Levy, the whole time, is organizing this, speaking to people about the gospel. You know, that was always our prayer with that well, that it would provide something needed for the town, but it would also provide living water for that town. The church now, in Entisoni, Pastor Levy has about 150 kids that come regularly to Sunday school services and are hearing the gospel, embracing the gospel, and living that out in that town. It's been a total transformation of that next generation coming out of Entisoni.
You see, Crosstown, when you gave money 5 years ago to put a well in a village in West Africa, yes, you did an important thing and you supplied water for that village that desperately needed it. But even more importantly, we gave Pastor Levy the opportunity to provide living water, to provide the gospel to these people that would come every day to get water. Thank you so much for giving. You're making a difference around the world.